Okay, working on my Type 3. The bellows is disconnected. I'm going to be connecting that back up. You can see it's off of its lip there. I'm making this because I have not been able to find any information about this on the internet. So what I've done is I've attached it to this fan shroud, and I'm going to loosen up these bolts all the way around the fan shroud. We'll come back underneath. And there are the bolts underneath. So I'm going to loosen up all of these bolts, which will allow that to move forward. And then I can stretch the bellows over the lip and clamp it back on. So here we go with loosening up all of these bolts. Okay, I have finished taking out all of the bolts. I said I was going to loosen them. What I actually meant was I was going to take them out completely. And you can see that this now moves away from the motor, giving me as much as I want on this end so that I don't have to try to stretch the bellows. And the bellows should more easily be worked over that lip. I will also point out that I removed the muffler before attempting this, just because it makes getting to this possible. If you try to do it with the muffler in, it'll be almost impossible. I'm also going to jack the motor up just a little bit, just to make it, I think, a little bit easier to line these things up and get it attached. All right, here we go. So I took the bolts out of the motor mounts, and you may notice these don't look like stock Volkswagen motor mounts. These are motor mounts I had created, built from the old ones that were basically destroyed. I took the bolts out of those that hold them to the frame, and I left them attached to the motor because they'll just lift right up with the motor. And I'm gonna now jack the motor up just a little bit. If you look in here, you can see that the lip is just maybe half an inch. The lip on the car is half an inch higher than the bellows rubber is sitting relaxed, and I want the two of those lined up when the bellows rubber is relaxed to make it easier for me to stretch that. Because even in the best situations, it's a little bit, can be tricky to stretch that over. And you can see even from the bottom, it looks like it's maybe 1/4 of an inch low from where it needs to be. So now I'm going to just jack up the motor just a little bit. It's not really moving up. Okay, well, I guess that's about it. Now I'm going to start stretching it over slowly. I think I'm going to start from the top. So I did the top. It was pretty easy just to get it on with even my gloved hands to get it over the lip, and it's right up against the inside of the body there. Now I'm going to move to underneath and continue working it onto the car with some, oh look, even the bottom is on down here. It's really just this last spot. Right there on the side. Well, maybe I can just do this. There it goes. Wow, that was the easiest time I've ever had of this. When I originally got the car, the person who had installed this, I'm gonna try to be kind, had put it on upside down. He didn't know what it was doing. It wasn't connected. This was sucking in hot air right off the muffler because it wasn't sealed to the body. It was back here and it was upside down, so it was really just literally sucking hot air off of the muffler and blowing it over the motor. I mean, what? Okay, be kind. Yeah, the guy just really obviously didn't know what he was doing, so now I'm going to clamp it back on and I'm all good. So it should be that easy if you remove these bolts, and you can give it the space you need to stretch that over so you're not pulling on it. Once that's clamped, then I'll push this fan shroud back into place and reinstall those bolts, and it should be good. So I got all of the bolts. These bolts started by pushing this in and just threading the bolts in. One there, and a bunch on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom. I started with this one just because that was the easiest one, and you can see it's pretty easy to push this and get the bolts started. Now that they're all started, I'll just go up and gradually tighten them all the way around. I've taken out the jack and lowered the motor back down to its regular sitting position, and the bellows is attached.